Hello, in this video we'll look at some of the profile stat settings. Actually, more specifically, the settings for the maps in profile stats. But let's first look at the maps themselves. Here are some maps generated by PortGC covering the finds of geocaches that I've made. As you can see, it starts with a world map and it has highlighted the countries I have geocached in. Below the map itself you find a list of the countries, and after the world map you will see my finds per continent, and after that it's per country, and it looks pretty much like this. We can also dig in deeper to a country. Let's see if I can find my home country. It's here, Sweden. So basically it's showing the map divided on regions to start with. It's this button, therefore it doesn't do anything if I click it. But I can also show you all the counties in Sweden by clicking counties here. And we can zoom into a specific region and see the counties in that region only. Like that. And so we were supposed to look at the map settings. So to do that, we have to go into my profile stats from another view or another way. So we go up to statistics in the menu, and then we choose profile stats. As you can see, this view looks a bit different. There is a lot of stuff added above profile stats itself. And inside here is this, or are the settings. If we scroll down to the maps sections, you can see that there are three settings. There is something called an algorithm, there's a color theme, and there's a binary mode. And in this video we'll try to go through them. They are also described in our wiki pages, which we can see here. So this wiki page is for profile stats, and we can dig deeper into the maps tab. And here are the color themes listed. It also tells you the requirements to go from one color to the next, depending on the theme. The requirements are the same, it's just the colors that are a bit different. And as you can see, it's based on two different requirements, either a fixed amount of finds or a dynamic requirement, which means that it's a percentage of the number of active geocaches. This means that you actually can have above 100%. If you find all geocaches in a specific region and some then are archived, you have above 100%. But we'll come back to this. Let's see. And I should mention that the Earth theme is the default. I use Rust myself, basically because I wanted to use something that wasn't the standard. Since I'm a developer, I also want to make sure that things work, therefore it suits me to run something that most don't. And I kind of like the colors of it. The red to green isn't really made to be the most beautiful one, it's more of a high contrast mode. So let's go back to the profile stats and test the different maps. So as mentioned, I use the Rust, and it looks like this. We can easily switch. So for example, let's look at the Earth theme, which is the standard. We select Earth here, and then we press save. The page will reload, and we have the same maps with the colors that Earth uses. The next theme is nature. Choose nature, press save, and we have a more greenish theme. And then we already looked at Rust since it was my pre-selected, and we have the red to green. Save. And as you can see, it's very colorful, very easy to see. So let's also look at the algorithm. I will actually switch back to Rust. Now let's keep it red to green because it's very clear. So basically there are actually two algorithms to start with. If we go back to this, you can see that the fixed, or actually we do like fixed here, is for this column. So it requires a fixed amount of finds. If you have 0 finds, you will have this color. If you have 1 find, you will have this color. If you have 10, this color, and so on. And you can also switch to %, which will then use this column. So if you have 0%, you will have this color. If you have above 0, this one, above 10%, this one, and so on. So it gets darker the more finds you have. So we can try to look at some of these. So this is how my map looks now. Or actually I should explain the algorithm, or the both algorithms. It's actually mentioned fairly clear here. Let's see here. So when using both, it will combine these two and use the easiest of them. So imagine a small county, might not even be 5,000 finds to do. Maybe it's not even 100 hides. Then you can still achieve the highest color by finding 80% of them. And using both is the default setting of PartGC. So we can see if my map changes. I actually don't know if it does, if we choose another setting. So I just open that one in a new tab. I'll switch to fixed. Open that one, new tab, and we can compare them. Okay, that wasn't very lucky because they were the same. If we switch to % then, okay, just a second, we need to wait for the servers to render this map in this resolution. Since it's a world map, it's pretty slow, so don't be surprised if it's like 30 seconds or so. But meanwhile, we can look at this one. So we had the color theme here. So dark green is most finds, light green, few less, yellow in the middle, red, very few finds. So you can see I have most finds in Sweden, and that's also my home country. Second most in Denmark and Germany, and the fewest in Southern Europe and Canada. But if we then look at, let's see, we just chose to have the algorithm use percentage instead, and then it's like this. So then it's only in Sweden actually have above the red color. So then we had a third option. It's called binary color mode. And in that case, that should also be described here on the wiki pages. A binary color mode can be enabled, in which case the areas will either have a color or not. Either there's a find in the area or not. The above algorithm option then becomes irrelevant. So what it basically says, it doesn't matter which setting we have here if we enable binary. I just moved it back to both since I usually have that. So I'll enable binary. And now my map is like this. It's green where I have at least one find, and it's whitish in all other countries. And it's the same if we scroll our way down. So let me restore my default usual settings. It's not default, it's my usual settings. I usually use both and Rust and not the binary mode, since I like to see the colors progress. You can also click these maps. This map is in its full resolution as it is here, but if we click it, we get an image that's in higher resolution. You can see it's fairly detailed, doesn't fit my full HD window. And we can actually make it even larger by going up into the location bar, adding the and scale equals 16. And this isn't actually scaling, it's actually making it larger. And if we zoom in, you can see it's very, very detailed. You can especially see it in areas with a lot of islands like this. Less visible in other places. I think that should be it for this movie. Thank you for watching, and I hope you learned something.